Hello, welcome. Please make yourself comfortable. I'm Maple and I'll be conducting your study today. Could I just get your last name to pull up your file? Perfect. There you are. Well, before we get started, I just wanted to thank you for coming into today's study. We are so excited with the potential of this research, but as you know, we are just at the beginning, which is great news for you. It means that today's research is going to be a bit more laid back. Yeah, exactly. Right now we're at the stage where we're just kind of dipping our toes into the research to figure out which avenues we do want to pursue more in depth. But like I said, that's good news for you today because it's some very low pressure testing. We are just going to be experimenting, seeing what we can come up with. Nothing too heavy today. So, I know we sent you the information packet, but standard procedure, I've just got a couple things to go over before we get started, just to make sure. So, as you know, people with the SK42 gene, such as yourself, seem to be able to sense an entirely new phenomenon that we can't currently correlate to anything physically measurable to science. So basically, we have no idea what it is, what you're sensing. So, most people with the SK42 gene report that this felt sensation is somehow related to their mood or emotions, but also somewhat separate. I know it's extremely difficult to describe a qualia to someone who doesn't experience it as well, but would you say that that resonates with your experience of the sensation? Okay, that's good. Perfect. Let me just stick that in. And so today we are essentially going to amplify all of your sensory perception by connecting all of your senses together. Kind of like synesthesia. Exactly. So you might experience one sense through one additional sense. You might experience a sight also as a sound, or you might experience all of your sensations together all at once. We're hoping that this can give us some clues as to the nature of the SK42 sensation. Now, of course, this is going to be all done through some machinery we're going to hook you up to, so this isn't permanent at all. Yeah, just to see how everything's kind of interacting together. So, do you have any questions for me before I do your physical examination? Okay, perfect. Then let me grab some gloves. So we're not going to do an intensive physical, just to make sure there's nothing glaring that might affect the results of the tests. So has there been anything major regarding your health? Any issues? Any concerns? No, perfect. Okay, can I get a little bit closer? Let me just... And are you on any medication at the moment? Okay. Any allergies to anything at all? Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything jumping out at me, so I'm going to start hooking you into the equipment. I'll just need you to stay relatively still. I'm just going to start with some fairly loose straps. Okay, those are comfortable. Perfect. Okay, one more back here. Okay, still feeling all comfortable? Perfect. We'll just get some of these electrodes on you. Yeah, it's similar to an EEG, but it's a bit more specialized equipment. Yeah, you will have a bunch of wires sticking out of you, but it won't be for too long. Okay, do a couple of these. Okay. Okay, one more up here. Okay, and last but not least, let's get the hardware in place and tightened. Just keep your head as still as you can, looking straight ahead. Okay, how's that? Is it too tight? Is it fairly loose? Yeah, I think I might tighten it just a pinch more. Okay, that feels a bit snug. Is that good? Comfortable? Yeah. You shouldn't feel any weight on you. It should be supporting itself. Yeah, good. Perfect. Okay. Then I'm just going to have the machine calibrate now. You might hear some odd noises, but you shouldn't feel any pressure or anything. So let me know if anything feels uncomfortable. you ready? Okay, I'll just leave that for a minute. Okay, good. Okay, there's just one more round of calibration. You good to go? Perfect. Okay. How is that? Everything still comfortable? Okay, good. Well, it looks like we are good to go. Are you ready for everything to be turned on? Okay, so like I said, your senses will be somewhat connected together. It really depends on the stimuli that's being presented. The first couple minutes might be a little bit strange as everything's kind of figuring it out in the new pathways, but like I said, this is completely non-permanent. We can take it away if something starts getting weird for you, but are you all ready to go? Okay, perfect. Okay, well, that is leveling out. Let me just check the settings. Okay, well, how are you feeling? Yeah, completely understandable. It can be a little bit odd to get used to, especially right at the beginning, but for most people it levels out and they get used to it after a couple of minutes. So let's just sit with this a little bit. It looks like everything is functioning really, really well though, so let us get started with the first stimuli. So the machinery will record all of your sense interpretations for your usual senses, but since we have no way to measure or interpret the stimuli that is associated with the SK42 gene, that's what I'm going to be asking your interpretation on. So some people, like I said, they'll relate it to a specific mood, like happy, angry, sad. Some people choose to use more poetic language, like it feels like a babbling brook in an overcast meadow. So, completely up to you how you choose to interpret this. But let's get started with flashlight. So, when you see the light, you might see multiple other senses, but what feeling do you most correlate to the light? Okay, getting closer. Good. Okay. Does the feeling or emotion you feel right now change on the other side? Okay. And does the feeling or emotion change as I get closer or further away? Okay, let's do that one more time on each side. Closer and further away. Okay, and other side. Good. And closer and further away. Okay, so for your SK42 sensations, was the feeling you had pretty consistent through that stimuli, or did it change at all? Okay. And how would you rate the strength of your response to that stimuli in general on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. Perfect. Then let's do some colors. So I'm just going to drop these down, and there's the first one. Next. Good. And this one. Perfect. There we go. Good. And one more. Okay, perfect. And again, how was your SK42 response to that stimuli? Okay. And was that consistent with all the colors? Was it different? Okay, that's good to know. And which colors had the strongest response for you? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. And which colors had the weakest response? Okay, perfect. Scale of 1 to 10 for that. Okay, so not too much of a difference, but is good to know. Okay, now let's see if blocking any stimuli does anything. I'm going to be covering up your eyes, very, very soft. So just look ahead and press one side and cover the other side. And cover both sides. And let's do that on each side again. Left and right. And cover both. Okay. And how is your response to that one? Okay, that's an interesting response. Okay, let's get that in there for sure. Then I've got a couple of jars with some pretty common smells. So this one is coffee. Okay. This next one is mint. Okay. Okay, and this last one is black pepper. Okay. So, how was your reaction to the coffee? Okay. Any mood or emotion associated with that one? Okay. And what about the mint? Okay. Oh, that's very different. That is some good data to have. And black pepper. Okay. Okay, we are getting some good stuff here. I think next we're going to do some sensory. So I'm going to be trading off between brushing your face and also just gently pressing on your face to give a variety of sensations. So just a very gentle brush against your skin. And then a very gentle press, 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 press. So let's do that on the other side as well. Okay. How is your SK42 response to that? Like I said, if it's harder to explain than just one emotion or mood, feel free to use some poetic descriptive language. It doesn't have to be exact. It's more so to give us just a general reference. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me put that in. And how strong was that sense, scale of 1 to 10? Okay. Okay. And we'll do one more tactile. I'm going to be pressing some specific acupressure points on your face. It's very, very dull. It's not going to stab you at all, just a very gentle poke there. Good. Good. One more, just there. Good. Okay, SK42 response for that one. Okay, interesting. Good stuff. And last but not least, I'm going to do a couple of sounds. So I'm going to start just with gloves, one side at a time. Okay, this one's going to be more of a bristly sound, so last but not least, okay, and last but not least, how was your SK42 response to that? Yeah, feel free to be as complicated as you feel the description needs to be. Okay. Yeah, I like that one. It's unique. Okay, do you have anything else you want to let me know before we take the equipment off? Yeah, of course. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, turning everything off now, so it'll be exactly like before, but just backwards. Okay, there we go. Let me start loosening some of this. Okay, and then right over there. Let me lift this off of you. Good. And take off these straps. I can reach around to the back for these ones. And one more just up here. Okay, great. Okay, let's get you fully unhooked here. Some people, they can get a bit of a stiff neck since it's kind of holding you in place. So do you want to just do some light stretches? Good. And to the left. Good. To the right. Good. And good. Perfect. That's all feeling good for you. Okay, great. Well, I think we are pretty much good to go for today. Like I said, we're right at the beginning of our research, so this was more so just to start to see what we're working with. We're going to compile these results along with all the other people in this study to see what avenues we should explore in the future. But when we do, would you be potentially wanting to come back for further studies? Okay, perfect. I will put you on our list. Well, then, thank you again so much for coming in today, and we will let you know when we'd like to get you in here next. But hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a gentle reminder to take off your headphones or turn down the volume, since there might be a loud ad soon. And if you enjoyed this video, you should definitely go like, comment, and subscribe. But thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you